Welcome to Cinepro, where we bring your favorite movies back to life with quick recaps, hidden details, and everything you missed. Our story begins with Mike, a successful and famous author interested in horror stories who doesn't believe in the idea of demons, ghosts. This makes him determined to visit places that are supposed to be haunted. When he arrives at a haunted house or room, he usually spends the night there to prove to everyone that it's all nonsense. Anyway, he arrives at a hotel and tells the reception staff, "I've heard there's a room here with ghosts." The receptionist tells him, "The last room in the last floor in the hotel is haunted. I can't let you stay there. What's your name again?" He replies, "My name is Mike." The receptionist says, "Mr. Mike, people complain all night about strange noises coming from that room. Book another room and forget about it." Mike says, "I won't stay anywhere except this room. I'll prove to you and your colleague here that it's all nonsense." So he takes the key and enters the room, starting to record his observations about the place on his recorder, describing everything he sees to people. Since he writes horror books and all that, he spends the whole night awake in the place, but nothing happens to him. He always used to rate any place he stayed in based on how scary it was, so he rates this place 5 out of 10. After that, Mike goes to a public office because he's holding a small conference for his new book. Someone asks him, "Do you believe in ghosts or not?" He replies, "Ghosts are a mythical thing, and the places I go, I have devices that detect any supernatural activity. But unfortunately, I've never encountered a single ghost in my life. That's why I think it's all nonsense." Then he leaves the library and goes to a nearby beach to change his mood. He takes his surfboard and goes into the water for a bit, but a wave comes and nearly drowns him. One of the lifeguards working on the beach sees him and saves him. After that, he goes to the post office to check his mail, and among the letters, he finds a picture of the hotel called Dolphin, with someone writing to him, "Don't enter room 1408. This catches our hero's attention and gets him curious to know exactly what's in that room. He calls the hotel and says, "I want to book room 1408. They tell him, "That room isn't available, sir. We'll find you another room." He insists, "I want to book room 1408. Here, he realizes that there's something really strange about the room. After that, he starts researching any information about the room and becomes determined to book it. He finally arrives at the hotel and asks the receptionist to book room 1408 for him. The receptionist gets scared and says he must talk to the hotel manager first. The manager comes and asks how he can help. Mike says he wants to book room 1408. The manager says, "I can book you an entire suite." Mike replies, "I want that room." The manager tells him to calm down and think rationally, offering him a royal suite as a gift from the hotel. Mike says, "No, I'm writing about that room in my next book and I have to spend a night there." The manager says, "Okay, come to my office and let's talk." Once in the office, Mike says, "Look, I'm only taking that room." The manager says, "You won't be able to last an hour in there." Mike says, "Do you think I'm crazy or what? I don't believe in this ghost nonsense." The manager says, "Look, this hotel has been here for 95 years. In all those years, 7 people jumped out the window of that room, 4 overdosed and died, and 5 hanged themselves. That's just what the press wrote. The truth is, the number of deaths in that room is more than 56 bodies. If you want to write a book and get a scoop, take all the data you want from here, but never enter that room if you want to live." But Mike insists and tells him, "Give me the key." They take the elevator but can't find the number 13, which is the floor of the room. The manager says, "We clean the room you're going to once a month. 2 people go in and clean it in less than 5 minutes, but they wear gas masks and must keep the door open while inside." They reach the room, leave him, and walk away. Mike takes a deep breath and opens the door. He walks around the room, exploring it, with his recorder on, describing everything he sees. He says there's wallpaper, a TV, and a carpet with a stain on it. Then he opens the window and comments on the natural view. Suddenly he hears the radio turn on and gets startled. He looks and finds chocolate on the pillow, realizing someone has been in the room. He searches everywhere in case someone is there, but finds no sign of anyone. Then he notices the air conditioner isn't working well, so he calls reception. They think he's scared and wants to leave, but he says, "I just want someone to fix the air conditioner." They tell him they'll send someone right away. He then turns off the lights and uses the light that detects blood stains, even after they've been cleaned. He sees many things that confirm what he heard about the room was true, and that every corner of the room had witnessed a death and a body. He sits quietly, watching for any strange movement. Suddenly, he's startled by a knock at the door. It's the technician for the air conditioner. He tries to open the door but has trouble. When he manages to open it, he finds the technician nervous and trembling with fear. He explains the problem to the technician, but the technician is too scared to enter and describes what to do to fix it. Mike follows his instructions and fixes the air conditioner. He looks back to thank him and finds him ran out of fear. After that, he sat on the bed and drank something to calm his nerves. Suddenly, he was startled by loud music playing. The radio clock started a 60-minute countdown. He remembered what the manager had told him, that no one in this room could survive for more than an hour. After a while, Mike felt like he couldn't hear anything, so he tried to listen for any sound from the window to check if his ear was working or not. The problem was, as he was going through the window, it closed on his hand and injured him. He went to the bathroom to wash the blood off his hand, only to be surprised by extremely hot water from the tap that burned him. The music on the radio started playing loudly again. He tried to unplug the radio but discovered it was working without being plugged in. He fell into a state of terror, and fear began to take over him. At that moment, the phone rang. He heard a voice like the receptionist's. He told her, "I want to leave the room right now." But it was as if she couldn't hear him. She said, "Everything you asked for will arrive immediately." Then he took the key and ran to the door to open it. But the key was pulled away from him and the doorknob came off in his hand. At that point, he felt trapped in the room and became hysterical. He ran to the window, shouting, "Help!" By coincidence, he saw someone far away sitting and writing in the window opposite him. He called out to him, but was shocked to see that person mimicking his every move, as if he were standing in front of a mirror. He shone a flashlight on his face and saw that it looked like him. Then someone came to hit him from behind. He saw that someone was also coming to hit him in the room, dodged the blow, and then that person disappeared. After that, he grabbed a lamp and threw it out the window, but before it hit the ground, it vanished. He kept hearing strange voices and someone repeatedly saying, "Daddy?" He tried to calm himself, thinking he was hallucinating and that someone had put something in his chocolate. At that moment, the TV turned on and showed scenes of him with his family, whom he had left a while ago. Then he saw ghosts walking around the apartment and committing suicide from the window. He started having hallucinations and seeing things that weren't real, like seeing his father who had died a long time ago. Then he saw a crack in the wall leaking blood. He looked out the window, thinking about how to walk along the ledge to the next room. He actually climbed out the window and walked along the ledge, but was shocked to find that the place he was walking in had no end. He became terrified and tried to return to the room. As soon as he got back, he was surprised by the ghost of the woman who pushed him to make him fall. He grabbed on at the last moment. Then the girl jumped. He quickly got up and re-entered the room. When he entered, he found only his room on the map, and the door was blocked by a wall from the outside. Even the windows were sealed with walls. Then he saw a glimpse of his life with his wife Lily, and saw his daughter sick in a hospital bed. We understand that she died from a very serious illness, so much so that his wife was also affected, and he ended up living alone. While he was calling out to his daughter, the lights went out, the weather suddenly became cold, and the air conditioner broke down. He took out his phone and found there was no signal. So he opened the internet on his laptop to ask for help. He called his wife and she said, "You look strange, like a ghost." He told her, "I'm trapped in a hotel, call the police." But he realized his wife couldn't hear him. At that moment, water poured onto the laptop and ruined it. He got angry and kept smashing it. Then he tried to open the ventilation duct to escape through it. He kept crawling through the vents, starting to feel like he would finally escape this place. He passed over a room and was surprised to see his wife and his dead daughter inside. Suddenly, a ghost appeared behind him, trying to grab his leg, but he hit it in the face and fell back into his room. Then he opened the fridge to get a drink, only to find the hotel manager standing inside. Mike kept hallucinating and shouting at the manager, thinking everything he saw was real. After that, he found only one solution: to turn to religion. He got the Bible and sat down to read it, only to find its pages completely blank. After a while, he came out of the bathroom and was surprised to find the whole room frozen, as if he were sitting at the North Pole. He lit a fire in the room to warm himself in that strange atmosphere, burning playing cards and recording everything he saw. After a while, he opened his laptop and tried to talk to his wife, but was shocked to see another person with his own face appear on the screen, asking his wife to come to this room because he missed her. The monster wanted to lure her in to kill her. Mike tried to warn his wife not to come, but she couldn't hear him. The room started falling apart around him, and the paintings on the wall turned into frightening images. One painting showed a ship at sea, and without warning, the painting caused a massive flood in the room, drowning Mike. Mike then woke up on the shore where he had drowned at the beginning of the film. He found the same person had saved him and taken him to the hospital. When he woke up in the hospital, he saw his wife in front of him and couldn't believe he was still alive after all he'd been through. He began telling his wife about the nightmare he had experienced, saying, "Who brought me here anyway?" She told him not to worry, that the most important thing was to rest and they would talk later. The next day, he was discharged from the hospital and went out with his wife, reconciled with her, and started a new page as they had separated after their daughter's death. At night, they had dinner together at a restaurant. While talking to his wife, he saw a woman walking by and suspected she was the same ghostly woman he had seen in the room. He was a bit scared but tried to continue his day normally. He started living his life normally and everything was going well for him. He also began researching room 1408, as he now believed it was truly haunted. Later, he went to the post office to check if he had any mail, but the employees looked very strange. Suddenly, they started breaking the walls until room 1408 appeared, the same room Mike had been in. We understand that he was still there and had never left, and everything he had experienced was an illusion. He felt despair, became angry, and kept shouting. Then he found a door in the room and opened it. As soon as he entered, he found his dead daughter inside. He hugged her while she said, "I love you, Daddy," and asked him not to leave her. But as he was hugging her, his daughter died again and turned to ashes in his arms. At this point, our friend broke down. His nerves were completely shattered, and his mental state was ruined. Apparently, these ghosts were torturing him psychologically to drive him into depression and make him kill himself. And while he was collapsed on the ground, he saw the radio timer had passed the 60 minutes. Does he faint after that? After a while, he wakes up and is surprised that the timer has passed another hour, and the whole room goes back to the way it was the first time he saw it. After a while, the phone rings, so he answers to see who it is. He hears a voice like that of the hotel receptionist telling him, "The decision is in your hands. Either you keep reliving this hour of torment forever, or kill yourself, just like all the people who killed themselves before him." But Michael is stubborn and refuses, telling her, "That's not going to happen. It's either me or you." After a while, the phone rings again, and he hears another ghostly voice telling him, "I called your wife to come here. If you don't listen, I'll kill her." At that moment, he decides to burn and destroy the room. And indeed, he starts setting it on fire. He hears the ghosts screaming in the room, but he doesn't care and leaves them to suffer. Then the fire alarms go off throughout the hotel, and the hotel is evacuated of guests. At that moment, his wife arrives at night, but security prevents her from going up because of the fire. Then Mike gets up and gives the room a rating of 10 out of 10. He grabs a fire extinguisher and breaks the window to let the air in. As a result, the whole room catches fire because of the air that entered. And indeed, the whole room burns. Unfortunately, the fire surrounds Mike from every direction, and he dies inside the room. The next day, his wife buries him, and she is sad for him. After the funeral, the hotel manager gets into his car with Mike's tape recorder, in which he had recorded everything. He plays it and hears the voice of Mike's daughter, who had died, talking to him when she said, "I love you, Daddy, and don't leave me." The manager is affected by what he hears, looks in the mirror, and sees Mike's daughter. Suddenly, Mike's ghost appears in the car, but he tries to convince himself that this is just imagination and not real. He drives off and leaves. We move to the hotel and go up to room 1408. We're surprised to find that Mike's ghost is in the room that was burned with him. Even though they found his body and buried it, his ghost is still there. The film ends with this scene. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all new updates. See you in the next video.